All right, thanks for joining. We're going to continue down our Nifi and Elasticsearch components that we had discussed, right? So we're going to continue down that path. We had just discussed about Elasticsearch, and like I said, Elasticsearch, component. Um, let's take a look at the configuration. Um, as you can see, this is, obviously attached to a cluster. This is the Elasticsearch host, and here is the IP address or the port number essentially. Uh, and it's going to receive messages on this particular port. There are a couple of other interesting, uh, parameters here. It's obviously an index operation. Typically, that's how you would do uh, access data, in a typical search engine, so to speak. It describes the batch size, describes the index, right? So there are two different names. So, think of index as essentially a database, right? Or a table name at the very least. And this particular index is going to hold all of the tweets that we are going to receive from the Twitter API, so to speak. So, uh, other than that, obviously there is, failure retries component here. That's fairly interesting. As you can see, there is nothing queued right now as such, but let's take a look at the configuration as well. So, if for some reason NiFi is not able to put data into Elasticsearch, then it'll queue and then it'll keep retrying these things. So, the restartability aspect of it is fairly interesting. Nothing new here again in the settings, fairly straightforward. None of the parameters have been changed essentially. So let's go ahead and get this flow started. Um, and as you can see, the data are coming in, and we are continuously writing the data. And if you want to take a quick peek at how the data are coming in, let's go back to this Kibana dashboard here. And we should see data coming in. Here are the total tweet counts. Here are the locations of the tweets. Here are the languages and when these tweets were created. And obviously, all of these tweets are created in the last few minutes because that's what we've been doing. But as you can see, this is a streaming dashboard, and you don't have to use Kibana, but you can use something else. But I chose to use Kibana because partly because it works really well with Elasticsearch or any search engine for that matter. And we'll go through these components at a later point in time. But for today, I think this gives you a good overview of how to get streaming data into your Hadoop cluster or a non-Hadoop cluster data stores. Thank you and stay tuned.